Check these out. Satellite pictures from the NASA Earth Observatory show the striking one-year difference in California's landscape. The pictures depict the aftermath of relentless winter storms soaking the state since the beginning of this year. These images taken from space reveal the dramatic changes that have unfolded between 2014, amid a multi-year drought, and this winter of 2017, a season marked by record rain and snowfall. Joining us now live via Skype is Jennifer Dungan from the NASA Ames Earth Sciences Division at Moffett Field. Thanks for joining us. How high were these satellites up there when they took these pictures?
NASA has been orbiting in low Earth orbit about 400 miles up for a number of decades.
So that gives us a sense of perspective on just what we're looking at. So from 400 miles in space, we can see the stark difference between the drought years and this winter. Describe what we're seeing. Obviously, it's more green, and we can see more snow in the Sierra, right?
Right. Those are the two most dramatic differences that you can see from these pictures.
And the level of detail, though, from 400 miles is pretty amazing. It gives us a kind of a big picture sense of the effects of Mother Nature on California.
Each picture element is about 250 meters, so we can see it quite a bit.
And we're looking right now at the picture of the bay, and on the right we can see the brown muddy water that was in San Pablo Bay. That's all the runoff from the Sierra. Can you explain that?
Yes, with the large volume of precipitation that we've been having, there's a lot of erosion and sediment washes into the rivers and into the bay, and it's very visible in the surface waters from these satellite images.
And a huge difference in the snowpack. What can you tell us about that just from the images from space? It doesn't measure how deep the snow is, but it certainly gives us an idea of how widespread the snow has fallen in the Sierra.
Yes, it's a way of measuring the total snow extent, and then there are some spectral bands that can be used to gain some other information about sort of the amount of snow water equivalent in the snow.
You mentioned,
and then other information is used to extrapolate snow depth.
Right. And you mentioned before we went on the air that one of the most common questions you get is, are we out of the drought? So, are we?
Well, the U.S. Drought Monitor as of this week shows that most of California is no longer showing severe drought. Santa Barbara and the farthest southwestern corner of California are still abnormally dry. However, our main issue going forward is how well the groundwater will have been recharged. With the storms coming so fast and so thick, the recharge rate may not be adequate to keep us out of drought in subsequent years if precipitation does not return to normal.
Yeah, the wells that some Central Valley farmers had to dig were record depths, and hopefully the water table has come up significantly since then. How are scientists going to use these images that you have here? What do you do with these pictures from a science point of view?
They're used for, from NASA's perspective, they're used for understanding large-scale patterns and creating models of how the Earth system works, both for the United States as well as for the globe. NASA's mandate is to look at the Earth as a planet. So these kinds of images are very useful for understanding how vegetation is responding to climate and hydrology, and how snow and ice are happening across the globe.
Well, they're eye-opening for sure. Dr. Jennifer Dungan, thank you so much for joining us and showing us those pictures and explaining what they mean to all of us. We're all very interested in it with the wet weather we've had this year. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And speaking of the wet weather,